So I just got back from watching Justice League, and I thought it was all right. It certainly was not a bad movie or an insultingly bad movie, but it certainly wasn't great or even a good movie. I felt it was very just kind of eh. Um, that's not necessarily a bad thing though, because I did find myself actually enjoying myself and having fun with the movie rather than the usual DC schlock in which I want to kill myself by the end of it. Um, Now, whether that's an advantage to the movie, I'll leave that up to you. But basically, Justice League feels more like a step in the right direction for DC. Wonder Woman is a great step, obviously, but it's not the same team that's working on it that's working on Justice League. It feels like they might finally have an idea with what they're doing with DC, but it still has yet to be seen. This movie does have some issues and it does have some good things. But this is just my spoiler free, kind of quick thoughts review on the movie. A more in depth discussion will be coming out within the next few days, but for now, this is more or less just kind of some quick thoughts I had on the movie and if you should go see it or not. For one thing, I really feel like the characters had a lot of work done to them. Some good, some bad. I really like the direction that they took with Superman's character. I felt like they finally gave him some personality and some stuff to do. Most of it, was well done, and for the most part, I enjoyed Superman. I definitely missed it in Man of Steel and the movie before that, but hopefully this could work out. Even if it's all just flashbacks, I still find it to have more personality than Man of Steel and Batman v Superman in just flashbacks. So I'm excited for the future of this character if he ever comes back. I'm not a big fan of what they did with Batman in these movies. In this movie, but it's what it is. I guess they just needed a witty and funny character, and I guess it just happened to be Batman. Wasn't a big fan of Aquaman. I felt he was very kind of annoying in the way, but not in a funny, charming kind of way. In a wow, you're really, really edgy and annoying and kind of cringeworthy. Wonder Woman did well. Cyborg actually really surprised me. I felt like I was expecting a lot worse from his character, and what I got was okay and pretty good. So he actually pretty surprised me. Wonder Woman was good, but I felt like her new direction was a little weird. But we'll get into that in the spoiler video. And I felt like the Flash was okay as well. He was pretty hit or miss. The villain Steppenwolf, he did what he needed to do. That's all I gotta say. He was a evil mustache twirling villain, but he wasn't insulting or particularly stupid or anything. So I don't really have much to say about him. He didn't have a lot of development because he died at the end of the movie anyways. So I'm kind of happy that they didn't waste time giving him a backstory, but at the same time, I really wish that they would have given other characters in the DC universe more development and more screen time in exchange for that. Um, the plot is real simple. It's super straightforward and easy to follow. There's not a whole lot of other things going on in the movie, so you'll appreciate that if you just want a straightforward, fun superhero action flick. Unfortunately, I gotta say that the combat and the fight scenes in this were so boring. It's just people flying around and punching each other. There's no awesome, badass, like close quarters combat fight scene that Batman has and like BVS, even though that movie is a steaming pile of garbage. There's no scenes like that. It's mostly just flying, punching each other, the Flash running fast, punching people, Wonder Woman slashing things. It's just boring in all honesty. And the fact that the score isn't great doesn't help either. Danny Elfman is a legendary composer, and I feel like he was sorely underutilized here. So many of the tracks sound so uninspired, and he even straight up reuses the Batman theme, which I'm not complaining because I love the 1989 Batman theme, but it felt really out of place with this universe. I'm super confused as to why Junkie XL and Hans Zimmer didn't work on this movie, but again, we'll get into that and more into the spoiler territory. But yeah, unfortunately, the soundtrack was just so underwhelming and just as well as many of the action scenes, and some of the dialogue was really bad and the pacing was awful. This truly felt like a movie that had an hour chopped off onto it, um, for reasons I'm not sure, but the pacing in this movie is awful. It's terrible. Um, And, the resolution felt really rushed, is what I'll say. But for the most part, I did enjoy myself. However, I did set my expectations very, very low for this movie. I was not expecting anything at all. I just wanted to laugh maybe once or twice and see some entertaining fight scenes. So take that as you will. This movie is currently sitting at a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I disagree with that percentage, honestly. I'd give it maybe like a 50, 55 if I was the person doing the tomato meter, but, I'm not, and we all have different tastes, obviously. I do feel like this movie was a vast improvement over Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad. You could arguably say both of them combined, but overall, it's not a great movie, and it doesn't stack up to some of the Marvel movies, but it is a step in the right direction for DC. I'll give it that much. For once, it made me actually care in what they might have going on in the future. However, it's very difficult for me to recommend this movie because obviously, if you're a DC fan, you've already seen it and you loved it. And if you're a Marvel fan, it's difficult because it's not the Marvel standards. A lot of the jokes don't land, and there's a very serious tonal issue with this movie. But if you're looking for a fun, kind of, I guess, turn off your brain uh, movie with less than stellar fight scenes, then I'd maybe recommend Justice League. But for now, I would say maybe stay away. Maybe if there's like an extended cut or something, that'd be cool. I'd love to see all the stuff that didn't make it into this movie, and I'm very curious to see how much stuff was cut because this really felt really rushed and kind of everywhere. So yeah, I definitely. So yeah, I probably won't be seeing this movie again. But the first time I did watch it, I did enjoy it. It makes it very difficult for me to recommend it. But if you're a DC fan or if you just want to see superheroes teaming together and fighting, then go ahead and watch Justice League. But if you're looking for a competent movie that's very similar to Marvel and has very similar themes, a sense of accomplishment and a sense of tone and direction, then maybe stay away from Justice League. Thanks for watching this little quick review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I will have a much more in-depth spoiler discussion like I have other videos on my channel. I will have that released relatively soon. We still got to edit it and we still got to, do some other tweaks to it. But for now, this is just my quick spoiler-free thoughts. So thanks for listening if you did, and if you like what you see here and you want to see more, go ahead and click with subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.